Hi, everyone. My name's Meg,
My name's Garrett,
and we're here to welcome you to the sports world.
and if you're already a part of the sports world, then we're here to keep the conversation going.
We're the Rusiks, and this is Talk Like a Jock.
So, what is Talk Like a Jock? Can give them a little bit of an introduction into what this whole premise is. I mean, it's pretty easy to deduct what this is about: jock, sports, talking like sports. Kind of give a breakdown. What is the idea behind this podcast that we started?
So, the idea behind this podcast is just to get more people involved in the sports world and answer some questions that I'm sure there are a lot of people thinking, but are just maybe too afraid to ask their friends because they don't want their friends to think that they're dumb. Or I know for myself, I work with a lot of men. And so all they talk about is sports. And I want to be involved in those conversations and not sound like some dumb girl. So I come home every day to Garrett and I ask him a lot of questions. And I ask him, hey, what are some like things that I can say to sound cool in our group?
For the record, this is a proven to work. Meg, first year fantasy football player here, and she won the championship for her work league.
And I trash talked the whole season. I knew exactly, I knew all my players. I knew exactly what to talk about. They think that I'm a pro golfer too because I can talk golf.
So
I got it down.
You know this works, and essentially, like I said, we're here to just introduce and welcome people into the sports world. And if you're part of the sports world, better, right? Watch this show and get your wives, get your significant other, your spouse, your husband, whoever around you that wants to be introduced to sports but just doesn't understand it on the same level. Show them this podcast, because that's the whole point of this, is just to have discussions. We have these discussions in the car for hours when we're on road trips, and we just think it would be so beneficial for everyone to hear. And so that is where we are, and that's why we're here today.
Yep.
So, what do we got coming up this week? I mean, we're just going to get right into things here.
Yeah.
Obviously, everybody knows what week it is in the sports world, and I'm sure even people that aren't quite in the sports world also can kind of figure out what is special about this week specifically.
Everybody's talking about it. Everybody's got plans this Sunday. And he may have a Dodgers hat on, but we are filming this from Kansas City, Kansas. And we are absolutely pumped to be here the second year in a row in the Super Bowl as Chief fans. Ready to watch. We've got the Super Bowl coming up.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting. It's, for me, it's hard. A lot of people are going to look at us and call us bandwagons.
We're not.
Now, we're not. I have grown up Chiefs fan my whole life. First quarterback I knew was Brody Croyle and Trent Green, Matt Castle. Like, that's what I grew up on. Like, I remember a year when the Chiefs did not throw a touchdown to a receiver all season. Yeah. So it's not like I haven't experienced misery. Yeah, it feels good to be on top of the world and the villain for everybody right now. But that's besides the point. We are introducing the Super Bowl, right? Again, Kansas City, our team is in it, and we're excited. If they weren't in it, we would still be
very excited about the Super Bowl. Definitely tuning in.
We just love football, and we love sports in general. So that being said, that's kind of going to be the big topic that we're talking about.
So something I saw about the Super Bowl just the other day that I wanted to ask was the 49ers are already coming up with excuses on why they're losing. And the most recent thing I saw was there have been complaints like throughout the whole team and whatever, like coaches, players, staff, everybody, about their practice field. So they're at UNLV and they're complaining about their practice field.
Do you know what UNLV stands for?
Yeah, it's the University of Las Vegas. My friend went there. So that's how I know.
Nevada, Las Vegas.
Yeah, okay. My question is, because I work in hotels, I know how they decide where they stay because the team itself books where they stay.
Right.
Is that the same for practice areas, or is that something that is like assigned?
So no, it's going to be assigned, and the AFC is the home field this year for the Super Bowl.
Okay.
So if you don't know, the AFC conference is the conference that the Chiefs are in, and the NFC is it's the National Football Conference, the American Football Conference. The AFC is the Chiefs, obviously, and they're representing the AFC. And then the 49ers are representing the NFC.
Yeah.
AFC in
Is the
this
home
Super Bowl
field.
is they are represented. They are the home team. With that, the Chiefs are using the Raiders facilities.
Yeah, which
is the host team.
obviously, yeah, you can assume that the Raiders, the NFL team's facilities are going to be better than a university.
Yeah, no, that's one of the big things to me that stuck out to me when I was looking at that, and all those comments that were being made, or it was like by an anonymous source. So honestly, I'm taking that with a grain of salt. I like to give the players benefit of the doubt, and these professionals benefit of the doubt. They're they're professionals.
They've got high expectations.
It seems like a very loser mentality to go into it already making excuses, and I don't think the 49ers are that kind of team. I don't think Shanahan's that kind of guy. Okay. So I'm taking it with a grain of salt. I'm thinking those players were like, man, this field's trash, or man, I can't believe we got shafted here. We're the higher seed. Yeah. And that might be, that those things might be true, but then a source, finds a story to write about, and they turn around and make it seem a little bit bigger than it has to be. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely a disadvantage, I think, to be playing at a college field, or in the college facilities. But that being said, they're not practicing crazy this week.
Well, yeah, and the thing is they would not have approved, like the NFL wouldn't have approved UNLV's facilities to be used if they weren't up to par at to some level.
Yeah, so, I mean, they're not practicing at a high school. They've got all the rooms they need, everything like that.
Yeah, so I was just wondering how that all happened and whether or not that was a choice that the team made themselves and now they're regretting it. But it sounds like it's something that is assigned and partially out of their control. But
I think I mean I don't necessarily. I'm not going to tell you I know 100% that they get assigned to UNLV's field, but I can tell you 100% that UNLV is the only remotely close college that's in Vegas. That's there. They got interviews. They got
they
press conferences.
They've
got to be in Vegas, close. And so that's the only place they could go. You're not going to go to a high school.
Yeah,
things like that. So that's kind of all I have to say on the matter. I know the game is a little bit different, but yeah, no, that's definitely one of those headlines that came through that I was like, I don't know if I'm taking this, fully, if I'm going to accept that.
Yeah, it's always what's going on. Yeah, you always take it with a grain of salt when it's anonymous.
Until a player comes out like the Eagles and they just start trashing their practice field and saying that's the reason they lost. Maybe. The Chiefs weren't playing on the same field last year, but anyways, that's besides the point.
Okay. So what are you thinking is going to happen in the Super Bowl? What are your just base predictions, MVP and winner?
Okay.
Give me those two right now.
Well,
not the two that you want, the two that you think are going to happen.
I'll be honest with you. It's so tough. Mm-hmm. Right. I'm obviously thinking Chiefs are going to win. And I think there's a variety of things that are going to go into it. Chiefs will win. My guess is Chiefs win 24-17.
Close game.
It will be a close game, and that's just the way that the Chiefs have played this year. Every game has been close. They're not going to they can if they need to go win a shootout, but their defense is so good they won't need to. They'll play ball control. Patrick Mahomes has been a brilliant game manager this year, and not in the negative context, because we know if Patrick Mahomes needs to, he can take over and get into a shootout. You want him to win a shootout, he can win a shootout, but he hasn't needed to this year.
Okay.
And so kind of what I'm thinking is Pat will be the Super Bowl MVP. The Chiefs will win. Mm-hmm. Like I said, 24-17. Mm-hmm. And a big portion of it, I expect them to, as the 49ers, I expect them to throw a lot of dump-offs. I think it will be almost a fairly mistake-free game for Brock Purdy, except for late in the game when they're down and they have to start pushing the ball.
When the pressure's on him.
Not necessarily the pressure's on him, but they're forcing him to make, throw down
quickly.
Field.
Yeah.
If I was the 49ers, I would look at all the tape and look at how schematically dump-offs and passing to the running backs is the way to just gash the Chiefs defense. And we've seen that, from the last couple of games. Zay Flowers' little crossing route, right? Things like that are big gashers for the Chiefs defense. And those are things we're willing to take. And Spags, obviously, I don't know what he's concocted. He's a genius on the defensive side of things, but essentially, if just from a simple standpoint,
You
I
think
think the Chiefs.
Chiefs?
I think the Chiefs will play less. Will have less mistakes. The Chiefs will have less mistakes. I
All
guess
right.
is my
I can see that.
final assessment.
That that makes sense.
Yeah.
Do you want to know why I think the Chiefs are going to win?
Yeah, Meg, tell us why you think the Chiefs are going to win.
Okay.
I think I have a good idea about why you think the Chiefs are going to win.
Because obviously Patrick Mahomes, he's on another planet when it comes to playoffs and Super Bowls. He's very good under pressure. And Travis Kelce has been practicing like a madman. I've saw reports of him just not taking breaks, wanting to run every play, and really like bringing the team up with him to that Super Bowl level, which is really cool to see.
Yeah. If you guys don't know who Travis Kelce is, that's Taylor Swift's boyfriend.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of Taylor Swift,
here it is.
Here's the theory, you guys. Because if anybody knows Taylor Swift, everybody knows 13.
But why?
Is her number.
Why?
Because I think her birthday's the 13th. Anytime she's won an award, she's in the 13th row. Like, there's a video with a whole list of reasons. But everybody knows it's 13. When you go to her concert, you write 13 on your hand. Like, it's a well-known thing in the Taylor Swift universe. So here's the dish with the Super Bowl and how that relates to the 13. So it's Super Bowl 58.
Yep.
5 plus 8, 13. It's happening February 11th. 2 plus 11, 13. If Taylor Swift attends this game, which it's been proven that she could if she wanted to, from Tokyo to Vegas, it would be her 13th game that she's attending. Yeah.
I hope that 13 is not the key indicator for the Chiefs winning.
Well, but it's just a factor.
I know, but the quarterback for the 49ers, Brock Purdy, is number 13. So,
but that's a great quarterback to beat.
Is he going to be the reason the Chiefs win because
he's number 13
and he's going to throw interceptions?
That's what I'm saying.
Gotcha. Okay.
It's a big I don't know. I'm sure there were a couple more ones that added up to 13 that I just can't remember at the moment. But those were the three biggest where I was like,
yeah, kind of a weird little coincidence. I like, the idea that it's Super Bowl 58 and Derek Thomas, Chief legend.
Yes,
number 58. So hopefully that is more of that play there. But I don't mind.
Yeah.
I don't mind the Taylor Swift stuff. I don't.
Anybody
I don't
who
understand
does,
people who do.
What did he say? The basketball player, Charles Barkley.
Oh, a lot of people have. Charles Barkley said something. Colin Cowherd said stuff. It's just a funny thing to be angry about. That's all.
Exactly. I agree. And you know what? I think it's been great for the sport.
It's quite frankly, because it's been great for us.
It's brought so many fans into the NFL. A lot more eyes. A lot more people watching the game. Like, I don't know how anybody who's actually rooting for the NFL or actually rooting for the Chiefs could be upset about fans coming in and also being a fan.
No, it's not a good thing for the sport. I just like the idea of, hey, it's a girlfriend supporting her boyfriend and a boyfriend equally supporting the girlfriend.
Exactly.
And we'll leave it at that.
And she's not a distraction, and I just love it, and I'm here for it, and I think that they're a great couple.
Yeah, well, we know that.
It's like seeing two best friends get together, and you're just like, finally.
Where would you rank them in?
Top 3, easy.
Okay, top 3. Who's
they're just
one and two?
I have no idea. I think they're one. I can't think of any other couples at the moment. But
wow, not even the Rusiks.
Well, we're up there, obviously. But she's the biggest, best pop star, and he's the best tight end. They're both going down in the history books, and they also just so happen to be dating each other.
Yeah, and I hold the single season interception record in my high school, and you run marathons.
Yeah, that's why we're up there in the top 3 too. One. No.
You heard it here first. Our own marriage is below Travis and Taylor Swift's couple relationship.
Now we talked about kind of on the field a little bit of what to expect with the Super Bowl. Let's take things off the field. What's happening in the sports world that just off the field, behind the scenes, within teams, management, things like that. Um, as of most
Gossip.
recently, yes, the gossip. Most recently, I saw today the Chiefs owners. This is significant because the Chiefs are in the Super Bowl.
GM.
The chief GM.
Brett Beach.
Yes. So he is moving priority to re-signing Chris Jones, which had a whole contract thing at the beginning of this season, I remember, and L'Jarius Sneed, who is just, I think, taken off the last few games, right? Hasn't he just?
No.
Is that? Am I thinking of somebody else? Oh, I'm thinking of Rashee Rice. My bad. Anyways, he's shifted his priority to re-signing those two things. And I think Chris Jones, at least, because I know him, I think that's key because we've obviously proven what a good defense can do for this team. And Chris Jones is kind of a main factor in that. He's a huge leader there. So that's going to have some good impact on the team, I think. What do you think about L'Jarius Sneed?
Yeah, well, kind of on your point. Chris Jones is a leader on the defense. He's a presence. He's a big part of the identity of the Chiefs. I don't know if he is.
Do you think he's worth the money?
It depends on what he's asking. I think he's a little. I think if I was Chris Jones, first of all, I'm just grateful that he decided to end up playing and sign the 1-year deal. Thanks, Chris Stone Cold Jones, if you're watching this, or do end up watching it. Yeah, he's worth the money. It's just a matter of if we have the money, and he's gonna. If it's not from us, he's gonna go get it somewhere else. Tyreek Hill, in my opinion, probably worth every penny that the Dolphins have given him. And I think the same with Chris Jones. I think the same with Chris Jones. I think Chris Jones is worth every penny. And so it's going to be difficult. If it were me, I just know how much L'Jarius Sneed needs to this secondary. He was the best corner in football this year. The best corner. I think there was only one wide receiver one that scored on him this year, and it was Amon-Ra St. Brown in week 1.
Mm-hmm.
Or, anyways, I don't even know if that's true. You don't fact check me on that, but I think it's like 1 or 2 people that are wide receiver ones.
He's a really good corner.
He's been locking everybody up. He's been locking everybody up. In my opinion, the best corner in football. He got snubbed from the All-Pro team. He got snubbed from the Pro Bowl. That might help us out a little bit price tag wise. I don't think that's the case. I think L'Jarius Sneed is worth every penny, and I really want to bring him back. This secondary is still young. Him being there to kind of be a leader and anchor down, like lead by example, would be huge for the team. So I loved hearing that that's the priority for the GM.
Yeah, you think that was a good? You think of the defense, those 2 players?
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely, okay. Definitely those 2 players. We're really young defense. I don't know how many. Those 2, and then we have to bring back Drew Tranquil.
Is he on the team, or do we have to?
He's on the team. We need to bring him back. Those 3 should be the main focuses of the defense. And then if if you haven't been a Chiefs or haven't tuned into football this year, one thing you need to know is that the Chiefs receivers have not been very good. And so I think at its core, wide receiver wise, MVS, great third option. Rashee Rice is obviously blossoming as a wide receiver 1, but just imagine giving him a guy like Mike Evans or Michael Pittman or just another receiving threat for the Chiefs is one thing I want to be the focus for as well. Again, that's all about price tag. I don't know. Someone said Mike Evans is going to be asking for $25 to $30 million. I don't think the Chiefs are going there. I wouldn't want the Chiefs to offer him that. But yeah, it's going to be interesting this offseason, see what happens with our Chiefs, and kind of just around the league. It'll be interesting to see what goes on. But yeah, that's an interesting headline that you got there as well.
Yeah, I saw that and I was grateful because I just know how much Chris Jones has been doing for the defense, and the first game when he wasn't there was noticeable. So yeah,
we were at that first game against the Lions, and it was unfortunate.
Was it?
But again, what would it come down to?
Receivers
catching the ball.
Yeah. So do you think that they'll get a new receiver? Because all season they've been saying we're sticking with our guys. They didn't They didn't pick one up before the trade deadline when we were all literally like on our knees begging them to at that point. And they stayed trusting their guys. Do you think that that was just for like a one season thing to get them through the season? We saw a few blossom by the end of the season, but what do you think?
I think we'll see what happens. I can kind of see where they wouldn't want to trade for a guy because, especially like the guys that were on the market, like Mike Evans was apparently a name that was thrown around. You don't know if they want to stay in Kansas City, so getting them on a loan year and then having like giving things up and then having them turn around and re-sign somewhere else is just kind of. They do that in baseball quite a bit, actually. You'll see, most contenders pick up a guy at the deadline that's going to help, make a run in October.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that works as much for football in this aspect of like the Chiefs getting another receiver. And honestly, the crazy thing about it is I'm pretty sure the Chiefs were like 4-2 or 5-1, 5-2 maybe when that happened. I think deadline's week 6 or 7. I can't remember. And like they had a winning record. They were like still probably top 3 record in the NFL, top 4 record in the NFL, and it only got worse after the trade deadline. I think that's confirmation bias, right?
Yeah.
And people are like, oh, it would be nice to have a weapon. Oh, we should definitely get a receiver at the deadline. Mm-hmm. We didn't. We're like, okay, I guess we're going with our guys, and then it got worse, which is not good. But not all that said, you have to give props to the Chiefs wide receivers this postseason. They have absolutely stepped it up. MVS against the Bills, I think 2 or 3 receptions for 75 yards, 3 huge catches, and then to ice the game against the Ravens there with that catch falling backwards, guys in your face. As a defender, it's like you got beat, but that's still like, bro, like you caught that. And it's frustrating to see. And just for context, I played safety growing up and in college, so I'm not just like saying like I know how they feel. Like I don't, and it's the NFL, so I really don't. But I know how deep feels, and someone making a good catch rather than like, just like catching and running, or you know what I mean. It's a tough catch. Mm-hmm. It makes it even worse. So yeah, I think that's kind of where I'm looking at in the off season, and we'll probably talk a little bit more about this as we get into the off season.
Yeah, and things are actually
popping
happening.
up, and we see some price tags, we see things like that. But that's just as simple as it gets when it comes down to that headline that you saw. I think those are the 4 things the Chiefs need to do in the off season.
And I mean, those like the Chiefs are just different when it hits postseason. Like there is a switch that is flipped. I feel that like Patrick Mahomes has, and he has as a leader on the team kind of taught and just made those young players realize and like get into that zone of it's playoff, like it's do or die, we're doing this.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
I just think that's really impressive.
Yeah, it is. It's a championship DNA.
Yeah, exactly.
And when you have a coach that's coached in that many big games, I think Andy Reid went to 4 NFC championships when he was coaching the Eagles, 2 Super Bowls, and then he's been to 6 straight AFC championship games, and he's been to 4 Super Bowls with the Chiefs, and he's not stopping. He just said,
yeah, he came out, I think,
and debunked the dumbest rumors ever. Every year, these followers come around, these Adam Schefter stirs the pot. Ooh, Andy Reid could retire. Will Bill Belichick be the coach of the Chiefs? No. Why would he leave right now? He loves football.
He's in the prime.
I get he's old, and if they win, no, he's with Patrick Mahomes. Why? I mean, ride it out as long as he can. He's a football guy.
Yeah, he came out today and was like, absolutely not. So, we'll take a break here for a quick word from our sponsors.
Yeah, quick word. If you're just tuning in with audio, that is the sweet sound of a Fresca. Particularly Fresca I'm drinking right now is the grapefruit citrus drink. Fresca. Have you ever had that just need for refreshness? Well, that's what you get when you drink a Fresca. That's why their slogan is Fresca. Think fresh. And it's perfect. It's the perfect name for it. And you know what? We've recently come on to Fresca. And you know what they say? It's hard to find, but it's worth the wait. Drink a Fresca.
The next thing that I want to ask you, as we've talked, Super Bowl Sunday is obviously a big deal. Even if you're not a football fan, Everybody invites everybody over. You get some drinks, you get the barbecue going. You're going to be having conversations with people, whether you like it or not, that kind of revolve around football. You're going to be sitting watching the game. Of course, the halftime show is going to be your time to shine, especially if you know Usher, where you'll actually know what's going on. But my question for you, and this is something that I think will continue throughout this series, is what can I say? And this is give me a couple just like one liners, small things that I can memorize, that I can say maybe during a game when a big play happens to make it seem like I know what I'm talking about.
Oh, no, so you do know what you're talking about.
I know what I'm talking about, yes, but I need a way to put that into words and that I can say it and like not
be part of the conversation.
Yeah, be a part of the conversation, not get 10 million follow-up questions about it either.
One-liners that are not that are open-ended, right?
Yeah.
Kind of just out there.
Just like comments made in passing.
A couple of them, right? First thing that comes to my mind is that Kadarius Toney, who is a receiver for the Chiefs, just announced they're bringing him back, and he's going to be playing in the Super Bowl.
He's off the injured list. He didn't play in the AFC Championship.
Little recap. Chiefs lose week 1 to the Lions. Kadarius Toney had probably 3 drops. One of the drops was a pass
Pick 6.
Hit off of his chest, picked off by the defense, ran for a touchdown. Picked off means the defense catches the ball instead of the offense. For those of you who
didn't they score though?
Yeah, that's where the 6 comes in. So pick 6 is where it's picked off, and then they run it for a touchdown, getting 6 points. Okay?
It's pretty much the worst thing that could happen.
Yeah, absolute worst thing, especially when you lose by 3 points. Now, he is supposedly playing. He might just be getting some punt return reps. One thing you could say, here's a one-liner. If number 19 on the Chiefs, he wears like bright yellow gloves.
Number 19.
And we support our Chiefs here. 100%. I would love to see Kadarius Toney have a game yet.
He's just like, how amazing would it be if he just went
just like MVS
off and just proved everyone, yeah.
That's what we want. But if you see him drop it, a lot of people are going to be groaning and moaning or laughing. And the reason they're laughing because it's so common with him. One-liner. Saw that one coming.
Like, I think that one would be good.
I saw that one coming. Just you can just say that.
And then number 19. So when number 19
on the Chiefs
drops the ball and everyone is reacting, you say, you drop, I saw that one coming. All right, that's a good one.
Another one you can say is when you see Patrick Mahomes kind of just running around, he's the quarterback number 15 on the Chiefs. He's just kind of running around. And then you'll see him just a little flick. And lo and behold, who catches it? Travis Kelce, number 87 for the Chiefs. One-liner, easy one-liner that will make people think that you just watch the Chiefs all the time or you watch football. Just say, man, Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce have such good chemistry.
Yeah, good chemistry.
Good chemistry. Just, that's all you have to say. It's, man, they have such good chemistry. Everyone will know what you're talking about. No one will be like, oh, really? What do you know about their chemistry? No one's going to say that. Everyone's just going to agree with you. It's one of those things that's just the most agreeable. It's just, it's like 2 + 2 is 4. People think, oh, yeah. That's exactly what that is. They just have such good chemistry. That is my other, what can I say? What can I say? What can I say at the Super Bowl Sunday?
That's great. I think that'll be super helpful to some of our listeners out there.
Yeah, I think it will be helpful to you. I know you'll probably plan on saying something like that. No,
I'll have...
No, I'm just kidding.
I will have a notes page of comments.
No. I'll be honest. Meg knows a lot about the Chiefs. I'm very, very happy and proud of her. She really dedicated this year to learning the players, learning their numbers, learning their name.
It was fantasy football that really got me into it. If you're wanting to get into football more, or here's a great reason to do it. If you have a lovely spouse that is going to be devoted Thursday night, Saturday night, Sunday, and Monday, where the only thing on TV is football, join a league. Make a fantasy football team. It makes watching so much football so much more enjoyable because these teams that you've never heard of, that you're not rooting for either one to win because they're not your team, but you've got players. You've got skin in the game now to where you want these specific players to win, and you have something to root for 4 nights of the week. So that's what got me into it. It was really, really, really fun and really enjoyable. Would highly recommend. And I am not just saying that because I won.
Yeah, no, I'm not joking to you when I tell you that Meg was invested. And I will say, I am very proud of myself because I did help her draft her players this year. Right?
Helped. It was a team effort.
I had to help. She didn't know anything going into it. So,
Mm-hmm.
I told her the players to draft. She set the lineups most of the time. Like, she's made sure her bench players or her bye weeks were benched. And
I was reading the
she
reports.
read the reports.
I had the ESPN app. I was kind of following along.
Going into that, just to put it in perspective, Meg won her league. Mm-hmm. I went to the championship in all 3 of my leagues and won 2 of them. So
we had a good team.
We know what we're talking about in a sense. No, just kidding. But seriously, those are just a couple one-liners. But like Meg said, get into fantasy football, which is kind of hard to say because it's months and months away now from the next one,
true.
which is depressing to talk about. But yeah, I mean, I know I appreciated it as your husband because I'm invested. You know I love the sport. Almost to a fault because it's like I can't not watch it. Mm-hmm. And I love that you just found a way for you to be invested so that I can watch the games with you.
It was fun.
It's been awesome. That kind of wraps it up as far as
of the Sunday football.
Of the
That's amazing.
Yeah, Sunday.
Taylor Swift is the cherry on top of the Sunday football.
You think you're cooking, huh? Sunday night football.
Oh, yeah, Sunday. Okay, here we go again. Taylor Swift is the cherry on top of the Sunday night football.
And how are you spelling Sunday?
Sundae.
Like the dessert. Wow. She's so clever. Can we get a round of applause? Well, I think, I don't think we have too much left on our agenda. Again, this is, the first episode for, Talk Like a Jock. Mm-hmm. And, again, we're the Rusiks, and we just are excited to talk sports. I mean, it's fun. It's conversations that we have on a regular basis where she's asking questions and I'm teaching her about sports. We're talking about sports, and we're just really excited to be able to share it with people because we think that you guys can benefit from it. Tune in to the future episodes. They're going to be weekly episodes, guys. Mm-hmm. We're looking, 30, 40 minutes in length, guys, not long. Like, just put it in your ear. We're on YouTube. We're going to have an Instagram. You guys follow Instagram, follow our TikTok. You can subscribe to this YouTube channel. That'd be great. We're also going to be on Spotify. Let us know what questions you have. That would be great. Like, what questions do you have? Mm-hmm. We're going to be doing that more. I think we'll have like a question segment where maybe that week Meg puts it on a story or we put it on a story. Like, what questions do you think we should answer for people that aren't necessarily, in the sports world but are being welcomed in by us?
Sounds great.
So, without further ado,
thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening to Talk Like a Jock.